What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame show powered by BetUS. Today, your Portland Trail Blazers played in a fun game, but also choked a 17-point fourth quarter lead. This was quite the game. I was at the game, and Moda Center had an atmosphere today, man. There was a lot of positives from this game, but the Blazers also choke a 17-point fourth quarter lead. Victor Wembanyama hits two go-ahead free throws with 2.1 seconds left. Deni Avdija's half-court heave got close, but did not go in. Man, that would have been amazing if that went in, because he had himself a night. Jeremy Grant had himself a night. Anthony Simons had himself a night. Donovan Klingan returned and had an impact. And this is going to be a fun game to break down. I also got the scoop glass, so that is a win. I decided last minute I want to go to this game because I want to see Wemby in person for the first time, and I want this glass. This glass is pretty sick. Somebody let me know if you have a clinging glass that you're trying to trade for a scoop glass. Okay, we can work something out because my girlfriend got another one, so might look to trade if you want a scoop glass, if you got clinging glass. Anyway, Eric, what's going on, man? You've been sitting around waiting. The lines for this glass were long. They passed it out after the game, and you had to wait in the line, and people were cutting. You what?
I like that, though, that you don't have to, carry it around the whole game.
Yeah, that part's nice, but they need to have more tents or something because it was a very long line. So, yeah, drink a shot out of it. Nah, I'm not drinking tonight. I'm taking it light.
Don't they know who you are, Tori? Can't you just, be like, I got a post-game show to get to?
I know, I should have used my status to get myself a glass quicker, but I don't know, man. I'm not media. What am I? For the longest time I said, it's not a podcast. I'm not a podcaster. I'm just a YouTuber, man. I'm just a normal, regular Joe Schmo. Anyway, there's I have not thought about this game on the drive home, okay? I kind of disassociated from this game afterwards. I mean, I'll just say it was a fun game to be in there in person. It was the loudest I've heard Moda Center in quite some time, but it's the first game that the Blazers have been in that I've been at Moda Center in quite some time. I guess the Bucks game was the more competitive game. Moda Center, of course, last year was rocking for that game, but it was a fun game. The Blazers go on a 46-point third quarter. Is that how many they scored in the third? I'm trying to do the math because they had 88.
46, yeah.
Yeah, 46-point third quarter, Eric. After 42 in the first half, the Blazers come out in the third quarter. I guess I'll start there for you. What was the difference in your opinion? I have my own thoughts. We'll see if they align. What was the difference in the third quarter compared to the rest of the game? Because the Blazers offense in the first, second, and fourth quarters couldn't do anything. And in the third quarter, they were on fire. They were making threes. They were getting dunks. They were playing fantastic basketball in the third quarter. Outside of that, the offense looked like the offense we've seen all season. That is at the bottom of the league. So what was the difference in the third quarter, in your opinion?
I mean, Jeremy Grant just went nuclear and started hitting shots, and then they had to come out to guard him, and it opened up the middle for the drives and stuff like that. So I think it was just as simple as, he hit some contested, falling down 3-point shots, and just got super hot. I think I don't think there was anything necessarily special they did in that quarter.
Yeah. So. Yes, I also think they did a better job in that quarter of pushing the pace. And sometimes it wasn't necessarily fast break buckets, but it was bring the ball up quick, attack quick before they set up defensively. And we've talked about it all season. This half-court offense is a joke, right? This half-court offense is a freaking joke. Chauncey's sets are a joke. I mean, the stuff they were trying to run in the fourth quarter just looked amateurish. It's just... the sets they run are freaking ridiculous. The sets they run are freaking terrible. So when they can get out and run, they can have some good moments. But it seems like when they get stuck playing in the half court, a lot of times, it just feels clunky and there's no rhythm to it and they shoot worse. When they can get out and push the pace and kind of get some momentum, they shoot better. And, maybe Grant hits those threes if they're playing in the half court anyways, and maybe they still score a bunch of buckets, but it just felt like spearheaded by Deni. Ant even had a couple moments where he's pushing the pace in that third quarter. They were just playing with more pace. Now, they were getting more stops. They were having some good defensive possessions that turned into some of these runouts. But even off of opportunities where it didn't seem like they had an opportunity to push the pace, man, they were just like relentless pushing the pace in transition. And even when they got stuck in the half court, they made threes. But I think this team, the more it pushes the pace, the more comfortable they are shooting for some reason. Like there's just more of a rhythm, and guys can kind of play more in the flow, shoot more in the flow when they're actually pushing pace. And you see the fourth quarter, man, how much they're standing around, how many times nothing happened for the first 15 seconds of the shot clock where Ant's just standing at the top of the arc and everybody's standing around and they're just trying to force passes as part of a set, I guess, but they're passes that aren't actually productive and it's just clunky and doesn't go anywhere. And it's like, that's the Chauncey offense. I call it Chaunce fence, okay? That's the Chauncey offense that we know and that we've lamented during his past couple of years here, because they have to push the pace in order to score, and they get so clunky in the half court that it seems to affect their shooting as well. Like guys just don't shoot with the same rhythm. Guys don't shoot in the flow of things because there is no rhythm or flow to the entire half court offense. So I think that was kind of the biggest difference, is they actually got out and ran in the third quarter and built some rhythm off of that and actually got the building behind them as well, and that seemed to carry them. You know, it was just all kind of an avalanche coming downhill at you, punctuated by that Deni Avdija dunk, which was phenomenal to watch on that side of the court, sitting baseline, see him running at you like that, man. That was sick. That was freaking sick. And then they just clunk it up in the fourth quarter. It was almost like they played not to lose, like they're just trying to take the air out of the ball after they get up 17 points in the fourth quarter. That's how you lose. And they lost.
Yeah, I thought the first few minutes in the fourth quarter when they pushed the lead to 17, I thought that was particularly when they did a good job of pushing it, and they got some deflections, which helps on defense, and got out to run off those turnovers. But just it's crazy how it can look so good at times, and a lot of that, is when you. Certain people, as Elizabeth Allen pointed out, our starters were on fire from three tonight. Our bench was like 1 of 13 or something like that. So a little bit had to do with starters versus some of the bench players. But man, when you can get out and run and it's exciting, it's fun to watch. We get these players in the open court, and it didn't even really involve our most exciting open court player, and that's Sharpe. So like, man, it would be so much more fun if we just ran more often. And I do find myself wondering why right after you have success doing that, why you go right back to slowing down the pace. It's almost like they're trying not to lose instead of just keep doing what got you the lead.
Yeah, I mean, who's the one guy that will constantly push the pace? It's
Deni.
Avdija, right? And he goes on that run, and I think he plays so hard on both ends of the floor, and he gets in these modes where he's just like sprinting down the floor with the ball in his hands on offense. I think he starts to tire himself out a little bit, and then when he isn't quite pushing the pace the same way, you don't have enough other guys on this team that push the pace well. And it seems to be a bit reliant upon him. And he kind of took over the game with that third quarter. And it wasn't even necessarily just like only him pushing the pace, but he sparked the pace that they played at. I know Anthony Simons and Chauncey Billups, like Chauncey has talked about how Ant needs to push the pace more and attack earlier so that the defense can't load up on him. And there is a couple of moments where Ant did that, where it wasn't necessarily a transition bucket, but he attacked quickly enough where he was able to get a step and the help wasn't ready to help on his drives. And that's playing with good pace, even though it doesn't really look like a transition or fast break bucket because, Ant brings the ball up and then attacks one-on-one. It's different than bringing it up, taking it to the middle of the floor, then trying to go one-on-one and the defense just set waiting for you when you're bringing the ball up the side of the floor and attacking early enough from the wing before the help can get there. And that's something I want to see more from Ant because we know how defenses load up on him. And when he can get a step and help isn't there, he is a good finisher. But, yeah, I mean, they just completely went away from it. And it's Eric, I wonder how much Chauncey's half court sets hold this team back, because I feel like if they ran better stuff in the half court, this offense wouldn't be anywhere near as bad.
Our players we want to trade would probably look better too right now and get more value.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just the offense was so clunky. They got off to that 12-5 lead. The offense, the rest of that first quarter was so clunky. Their sets are so bad. I cannot say it enough. I've said it a million times, and I know Chauncey's a lame duck coach, but a game like this is a perfect example of how when they can get out and run and push the pace and they're not in structure, but they're not like slowing it down where they have to play in the half court, they can have some success, right? But when they slow it down and have to play in the half court, they don't have a coach that they can rely upon to actually design sets that get them good shots or play their strengths, man. I mean, like, what were we running in that fourth quarter? There was like 3 or 4 times where shot clock's down to 9 or 10 seconds and the person who brought the ball up the floor was still standing at the top of the arc with the ball and nothing was happening. And it's like, do something, please. Just do something. Somebody run somewhere, somebody screen somewhere, somebody freaking do something. And I was watching Chauncey throughout this game. Like, there's multiple times where like Ant's just bringing up the ball and Chauncey's not even calling anything. Chauncey's just standing there, man, and just spectating. And it's just disastrous. He's just a bad freaking coach.
I especially like
better half court stuff, man. It's just a joke.
I especially like the play where Ant brings it up, dribbles around for a few seconds, and then passes to Grant or Sharpe, and then everyone, including Ant, just stands there and waits till they do something, and then if they don't, then they like get the ball back and just dribble it some more. Like,
yeah,
I just like. It's so obvious that when it like starts happening, like how bad it is. And I mean, if you have a Luka or a Dame or someone, that can still create and make offense out of nothing, it's one thing. But like, this team just doesn't have the creators you need to run that kind of offense with just let the players make plays type offense. I'll never understand why that's been such a staple of this team.
Yeah, and when you design stuff, you have to account for what if defenses overplay you, what if defenses deny your first pass of your set, your offense. And here's the thing, right? Like, I'm gonna try and explain this as like an example so people can understand as best I can. Let's say you have a set, point guard brings the ball up, he's supposed to pass to the wing and then like cut through the key. If you can't get that pass to the wing and the point guard has their dribble, he can always dribble over to the wing and the wing can cut through the key and basically take the place of the point guard, and the point guard takes the place of the wing without making the pass, right? That's what you can do if you're overplaying the wing. If they're overplaying the wing, and guess what? When the wing cuts through, that's a back cut. You might be able to hit him on the back cut because the defense is overplaying, but if you don't hit him on the back cut, you can still be in your offense. Because the wing cuts through, right? If that was the point guard's responsibility after passing it, point guard dribbles over instead and the wing cuts through, they trade places essentially in the set. You can still run the follow-up action as part of the set. And it's just so much stuff where it's like if defenses overplay, the Blazers have to make this pass or they are not in their set. And they like telegraph their stuff and everybody's kind of standing around and it's too much dribble handoff, close quarter stuff that can get messy, get deflected easily, or it's person on the wing just standing there denied, not even making much of an effort to get open, not V-cutting. V-cutting is when you basically cut into the defender, then cut off of them to gain some space to catch the pass on the wing. We don't do enough of that. Like, it's the half-court offense truly is a mess, and I know this team isn't talented, but I feel like offensively they have some pieces where if they were actually running some good half-court stuff, maybe it'd be, the 22nd best offense instead of 29th or 30th or whatever they're ranked right now. Yeah, 22nd isn't good, but it's better than last. And this team would probably have 2-3 more wins right now if they ran better half-court stuff, right? Instead of being 8-17, they'd probably be 11-14, right? And it builds good habits. I don't think standing around offensively for these young players builds anything for them. Like, how does that help their development? Teach them how to run good stuff. Teach them how to run legitimate stuff. Teach them how to counter a defense that's overplaying. Instead, it's like, yep, you got to hand off the ball, and then he has to dribble over to the wing and hand off the ball, and then you have to pass it back up to the point guard. And if you can't pass it back up to the point guard, you just stand around and don't know what to do. That's basically, like, too many of their sets, man. So, disastrous, and it's why when teams start to, like, overplay and lock in defensively late in games, you've seen Chauncey's offense completely turn to stagnant bull crap. And I mean, even when he had more offensive talent, even when he had Damian Lillard, there was a year where we were talking about, like, yeah, the Blazers didn't score a field goal the final 5 minutes again. Do you remember that year, Eric? It's just what Chauncey's offense produces. So.
Right, and we have a $10 donation from Chapel Perilous. What's up, man? He says, do you think it is solely bad coaching, or do you think there are several low IQ players on this team? Why don't these NBA players know how to play basic basketball? I do think there's possibly some issues with that. I don't know if I can blame that fully, but let's just say it's the case, right? Like, you have a bunch of low IQ basketball players. Let's just say you were coaching a team like that. To me, when you have low IQ basketball players standing around is the worst thing you can do. You want them to be like, okay, we're going to run this play. So if you're a low IQ player, you know exactly what you need to do on a play, and you're not thinking about, oh, should I cut? Should I do this? Should I like go set a screen or like whatever? Like, you know exactly, okay, he called this play, I have to do this on this play. And pretty much any basketball player, especially at NBA level, will be able to run a play, you know, like, so in my opinion, if that's truly what's going on, if it's just that the players aren't smart enough to run a freelance system, why are you freelancing so much?
The thing is you bring in Klingan. He's a smart player. He's a rookie, okay? When he gets the ball up top, like, sometimes he gets stuck. That's going to happen with any center that's not super skilled, especially a rookie, right? But he's smart. Avdija's a smart player, but even with, like, him in the game, there's moments where, like, it ends up being super stagnant, and he ends up with the ball in his hands and, like, doesn't know what to do, right? It doesn't seem to matter who you have on the floor. And to me, it's just clearly bad design. They have too many actions that are easily denied that don't generate good looks, that they are either forced to make certain passes, make these unproductive passes, or their entire set shuts down. There's nothing about player IQ that has anything to do with that part of it. And that's the problem for me. Like, it would be one thing if you had good stuff and guys are missing reads, guys are, you know, making bad passes that are off the mark, or, you know, you would be able to see a difference between, oh, these players are low IQ players, and the design. And the design is just so clearly bad. Thank you for the donation. It's a legitimate question, and some of it probably is part of that. Like, I know Simon's had a great game tonight. I think there's too many times where he takes it upon himself when plays break down to generate a shot no matter what, and he could pass, screen away, come back to the ball, like, move a little bit more. And, you know, he had some shots out of that tonight, so it was fine. He had a really good shot-making night, but, you know, he does take it upon himself, I think, a little bit too much to be the guy to bail out the offense. And it's like, I get it if there's 5 seconds left, sure, on the shot clock, but, like, there's times where he'll have the ball with 13 seconds left and you know he's shooting the shot, and he'll dribble until 4 or 5 seconds and shoot something. It's not an easy shot, and sometimes he'll make it. He has some difficult shots today. Props to him. He's a gifted shot maker. But Jeremy has that same issue, right? It's Sharpe occasionally will have that issue, but it's not really as much him as other guys. So it's not just a Simon's thing. There's multiple players on this team that do that. It's just, that's the problem too, is when things do break down, the veterans on this team is like, I have to make something happen. I have to go get us a shot. And oftentimes they still have enough time to, okay, I can swing to the wing and go set a screen and slip off of it and flare out to the wing. And then when I catch the ball, maybe my defender's not on me, so I might have a three. Or they're closing out on me, and then I can attack baseline after slipping off that, right? Like, that's the type of thinking where you can still be aggressive as a scorer by moving the ball and cutting and, like, playing off ball a little bit in freelance situations and getting yourself easier opportunities to go score instead of like dribble, try and cross over a guy 3 times, dribble, shoot a contested step back mid-range. So I think that's partly an issue, but I mean, that seems to kind of plague this whole team in general. When things shut down, it's I got to go make something happen no matter what, or I have to collapse 3 defenders and make a kick out pass. And that's the only thinking, which is too simplistic. But this, I can't focus on that when the whole design is bad and produces really tough situations in the first place. So always going to focus on the design of the half-court stuff because you should be able to design better stuff than what Chauncey designs.
Yep, I agree with all that.
And then Tumani seemed to get a concussion in this game and he didn't get subbed out. That was very strange to me. I don't know. Like, he was holding his head. He got hit in the head. It was a technical on Vassell. And he was holding his head for a while after that. I don't know if it was maybe, like, his eye or something.
Yeah, tricks or something. Yeah, so the replays showed it got hit, like, in the side of the head. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like to me watching the elbow in the temple. That's not a good place to get hit with an elbow. And then he's holding his head for, like, 3-4 minutes after that. Doctors, I mean, like, listen, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say anything, but it seemed weird that he was allowed to stay in the game given concussion protocol and all that. So I thought that was strange, Eric.
Yeah, I thought that was strange as well. He didn't really do much after that, I don't think.
Yeah. He did hit a 3 right after the shot clock buzzer, but yeah, overall, just half-court design is bad.
We had to talk about another coaching thing. What did you think of Chauncey's decision to challenge that play and use his last timeout?
You have to be more confident that you're going to win that challenge in order to blow your last timeout, because we saw that bite them. They would have had the ball advanced with 2.1 seconds left. Instead, they get a half-court heave. And that's the difference. That is the difference. Maybe Chauncey didn't want to drop another bad sidelines clutch time out of bounds set and prove how bad he is again at drawing stuff up. So maybe that's why he wasted the timeout. So they had no option but to shoot a half-court heave. I'm kind of trolling, but it's just... if you have 2 timeouts left, okay, I get it. It's very late. Big play. I understand. With 1 timeout left, the chances of winning that challenge, are they greater than the chances that you'll need that timeout? The chances he was going to win that challenge was basically none, and he ended up needing the timeout, and he didn't have it. So, rough challenge.
Yeah, you could argue it might have cost us the game.
Yeah, it was rough. You didn't like that challenge?
Not at all.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
I mean, it was pretty clearly a foul. I don't know.
Yeah. So Wembanyama hits 2 free throws with 2.1 seconds left, Eric. I know Grant had the bucket to tie things up, so he was the reason we were in this position in the first place, okay? But, bro, you're 6'9", you're guarding somebody that's 7'4", he has 7 inches on you, and also, like, his wingspan is, like, 8 feet long. If he has you 12 feet away from the rim and he wants to shoot a turnaround fadeaway over you, you're never going to block it, okay? Mm-hmm. You're not even going to bother it, okay? Why is Jeremy Grant, with 2 seconds left, biting on a pump fake that would have been a turnaround fadeaway from Victor Wembanyama that he would have had no chance of even affecting, and Wembanyama pump fakes it, draws a foul, gets to the line? In that situation, you just have to wall up, and if he hits a shot over you, he hits a shot over you. He's 7'4". Yeah. You just got to make him uncomfortable. And guess what? You can make him uncomfortable without jumping. You could, like, kind of get in his space enough where he feels you, and that probably is going to affect him more than you trying to get your hand up that he's so freaking tall he probably doesn't even see it when he jumps on a turnaround fadeaway. And if he does see it, like, it doesn't matter. He knows you're not blocking him. So you got to be smart in that situation. And if you're Chauncey and you put Jeremy on Wembanyama, it's wall him off, do not bite on his pump fake. It's that simple. The Blazers throughout this game bought on multiple Victor Wembanyama pump fakes at the three-point line. They were never going to block his shot if he decided to shoot on those pump fakes. They were never, ever going to come close to blocking his shot if he decided to shoot on those pump fakes. But he just throws in a lazy pump fake. You got guys like Jabari Walker who's 8-9 inches shorter than him and can't jump, and he's flying out on his pump fake and jumping. And then, the 7'4" guy has an open lane because you bit on his freaking pump fake. I mean, it's just, that's low IQ. That's stuff that you can say that's low IQ plays. The final possession stung, man, because it's like, okay, make him hit a shot over you. If he's a shot over you, what are you supposed to do? Maybe you should have doubled, probably, considering the ball was in the middle of the floor and it's Wembanyama. Probably should have been ready to double there. I don't know why they didn't double, but in that situation, if you're Jeremy, if they do double, or if you're playing one-on-one, you cannot bite that on that pump fake. You just cannot do it. Jumping and trying to contest that isn't going to change anything, but if he pump fakes it, guess what? He's drawing a foul, he's going to the line, automatic 2 free throws, and you lose. Because you tried to block his turnaround mid-range fadeaway. Why?
And for the people who are saying should have put Tamani on him, Tamani's been making some dumb fouls too, so I don't know if he necessarily isn't biting on a pump fake either. Because he's had some bad fouls, like, as well. I don't know.
I know Klingan had a minutes restriction, but you couldn't play him the final 6 seconds?
Well, here's the thing, because Garben keeps bringing this up in chat. He doesn't understand. I think what it is, I didn't see if he had taken his knee brace off or not, but once you, like, get subbed out and you're, like, basically told you're not going back in the game, it is kind of dangerous to then... try to get someone to come back in, even if it's just for a few seconds.
Why can't you say, like, be ready to go in case we need you?
But, I mean, I think he had hit his minutes.
Bro, 6 seconds. Like,
no, I know, if you would come out, like...
You should not tell him, you're done for the night. You should tell him, like, be ready in case we need you. For, like, a final 6-second defensive possession against 7'4" Wembanyama.
Do they want to win?
I mean... That's the good question, right? That is the good question. Yeah, I mean,
I think.
Do you think Chauncey's coaching to lose?
No, but what I'm saying is, I think you make the decision before the game. We're going to stick to this restriction. It doesn't matter what happens during the game. We are sticking to this. So
I just think it's silly because if before he got subbed out, if that lasted 6 seconds longer, it'd be the same freaking thing.
Yeah.
Like, but you know what I mean?
Klingan, much like I just said about Tamani, Klingan also is getting a few, like, bad fouls too, where he's...
Yeah, but I'd rather have Klingan on him than Grant in that situation.
Yeah.
And listen, if Klingan makes that mistake, I'm actually more okay with it because it's a learning experience for him where it's like you got freaking 30-year-old Jeremy Grant making that mistake. Who's 5 inches shorter. Like, Klingan might have a chance of blocking his shot. Like, he might be the only person that has a chance of blocking that shot from Wembanyama. Jeremy Grant has none. So if Klingan jumps to try and block that shot, given that he's like the only guy that has a chance and he's a rookie, like, in fouls, okay, learning experience. You actually had a chance to block a shot if you didn't shoot that. Instead, it's, Jeremy, you had no chance of blocking that. Why the hell did you jump? You're 30 years old. You're a veteran. You should know better.
Yeah, I just think if you're going into the game saying we're going to put him in at a certain point in the first quarter, let him play, 10 minutes or whatever, and then do the same in the second half. I don't have an issue with not deviating from that at any point. So even if it's 6 seconds, but yeah.
I get it. I just think you can tell him stay ready in case we need you. It's not going to hurt him, even if you plan on not playing him again. Because that would have been a good clutch time defensive possession against Wembanyama. That would have been a good experience for him.
It would have been, but I mean, if he's not fully ready to go, I don't have an issue with also just being cautious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a big issue with that. I get it. I get it. I get it. I just don't think you had to do it that way.
I just to sit there, cool down, to come in and then try to like do something fast twitch or anything
I
in
mean,
just a few seconds.
he
It's
did
not.
that
I don't think it's
during
the
the game
smartest thing.
too. Like he came off
No, I
the
know.
bench. Like
I mean, it's all
game.
arbitrary. Like, let's say he's on a 20-minute restriction. Like, who makes up that number, and what's the difference between like 18 and 22 minutes if it's a restriction? Like, all that stuff is right. I'm fine with them thinking we're gonna play him these two shifts and not do anything else. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I don't. I wouldn't say I have a problem with it. I'm just saying you didn't have to do things that way. Like it's not like that 6 seconds would have hurt him.
Well, he
Made a
could have.
difference. I mean, he could
It
get
could've.
hurt. He could get hurt walking to the locker room. He could slip in the shower like Joel Prisbilla. We gonna wrap the dude in bubble wrap? Like
No, I'm just saying when you're working back from an injury, like this is why I was surprised he didn't start actually, because you get warmed up and you're supposed to play while you're warm, and it's dangerous to then come back in the game cold and then do a physical thing. That's when you get hurt. So I would say it probably was more likely that he got hurt in 6 seconds than the other 20 minutes he played in this game.
but he came into the game cold. He didn't start.
No, I know
either
that's what I'm
half.
saying. Like, it didn't make sense, but you can stay warm on the sideline or prepared. I understand you're saying you could tell him that, but like if he'd already reached his minutes restriction, why would he think he's going back to the game?
Yeah, I mean, like he was acting normal on the bench. Like he was on the bench, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I get it. Anyway, hopefully he gets off that minutes restriction soon because he makes games fun. He makes games fun. He is fun to watch. There's moments where it's like, come on, man, you can't shoot that layup right into the defender that is on you that you should know is there, right? Like, there's definitely some rookie stuff here and there, especially first game back. But just watching him erase offensive possessions from the other team, like multiple offensive possessions in a row, is so much fun. It's so much fun, man. Like, he's a legitimate defensive difference maker. He's the best defensive player on this team already as a rookie, which that's what the Blazers drafted him for. And in this game, like, 3 turnovers, not great. Yeah, 4 fouls, but 3 for 6 from the field. Missed a 3, barely. Like, and it was his first possession back. He shoots a 3. I'm okay with him shooting that shot. Shot looked fine. 6 points, 7 rebounds, couple of assists in 15 minutes. They didn't credit him with a block, which ruined his streak, but he did get a block. He did block a shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
They might need to stat correct that. Am I tripping? He absolutely blocked a shot. The arena even played denied after he blocked a shot. There's video evidence of him getting a block. Yeah, send it into the league. Send it into the league. He got screwed out of his streak, man. Chappell Perilous says, yeah, replay showed him blocking the ball multiple times. Well, this is my petition to the stat gods at the NBA. Give this man a block. He definitely blocked a shot. We had the opposite of home cooking. Even the arena played denied, and our home stat keepers didn't give him a block. That's a shame. Anyway.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They get to talk about his block streak, and that means less time to talk about Cedar Rapids. Now that we don't have his block streak. Dude, they would find a way to talk about Cedar Rapids just by showing a video clip of him sitting on the bench. So now we don't have his block streak to talk about. We didn't have a huge Shaedon Sharpe 45-inch vertical dunk today. I mean, we default back to Cedar Rapids content.
I don't know if he blocks that shot. I
don't know. You got multiple people in chat saying video evidence.
No, Aeromancer posted a link. He hits his hand, I think, not the ball. I don't know.
Post a link where.
In chat. It's close. I don't know.
So
Whoops, we're gonna not play the audio. That wasn't even the play I was talking about, and he definitely blocked that. That wasn't even the play I was talking about either. Oh yeah, he blocks that. He definitely got ball there. Yeah, he definitely hit ball there. But that wasn't even the play I was talking about. There's another play. There was another play, man, where I swear he got a block. I thought he had two. He definitely blocked the ball. The ball would not be spinning like that if he didn't.
He hits his hand like right as it's really close between the hand and the.
Yeah, but him hitting his hand isn't going to spin the ball sideways.
Like it wasn't even a shot. It was like a tip.
It was an alley-oop.
Yeah.
Like he was definitely going up to shoot it. He is shooting the ball towards the rim. I don't know. To me, that's like he clearly gets ball, but that wasn't even the play I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got screwed. Stat keeper tonight was Alonzo Mourning's son, says Blaze the Nugs. Aeromancer said he had 2 in NBA.com stats, and then they erased both. That's weird. ESPN was being weird with like the box score today, and NBA.com was having issues. I don't know if their stat keepers were having issues or what, but yeah, because he had a play, I think, either right after that or right before that, where he got a piece. So, I don't know, man. NBA. Figure it out. We're always getting screwed by the league. Anyway. Yeah, so let's see here. Wembanyama scores 28. Devin Vassell 23 off the bench, 6 and 5. Julian Champagnie was a catalyst in bringing the Spurs back in that 38-point fourth quarter of theirs. He had 19. Sohan 15. Harrison Barnes 10. For the Blazers, you had Jeremy Grant 32, Anthony Simons 30. I mean, this was a perfect tanking game. You showcased Jeremy Grant, you showcased Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons got to the line 11 times. That's superstar stuff. 7 assists, no turnovers. I mean, he was making shots tonight. He was doing a good job attacking, getting a step. San Antonio doesn't have the best perimeter defensive lineup. You got Sohan, he's a good defender, and then Wembanyama, of course, is Wembanyama, but like Harrison Barnes, Champagnie. Harrison Barnes is just older now. Branham, Blake Wesley. None of these guys known for their perimeter defense, but Ant did a good job when he got a step, man. He was finished strong, finished well, and some of it was attacking earlier when he needed to. And then his jumper was dialed in, hit some mid-range, hit a couple threes, 3 for 8 from 3. So it's a good offensive night from him. Good to see him play well.
Get that Grant third quarter on every other team's feed or something like.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone sees that.
The Lakers need some help, man. 8 for 10 from 3 for Jeremy Grant. All this talk about his 3-point percentage and he fixes it in one night. Like, I need to do the math. He was 35%-ish before this game. I need to do the math on what he's at now, because 8 for 10 will make a huge difference. That's insane.
Yeah, well,
He hit a no-dip contested 3, too. Like, he was on one today.
almost 39% now, says Aeromancer.
Yeah, he's right back. He's right back to basically 40%. One hot shooting night, Eric. I mean, going 8 for 10 from 3 is like insane.
Yeah.
That might be the best shooting percentage of his career from 3. I'm sure he had a game where he shot 100% on like 2 for 2, but 10 threes and making 8 of them? It's legit. It's legit.
And in the third quarter, I thought his best play was the lob to Klingan.
Yeah, I mean that was a real nice lob, man, and he'll break out these moments of playmaking, and it's like, man, that's nice. You should do that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what is he from the field now, though? Is my question. 109 for 287 before this game. In this game, he went 12 for 19.
Hey, Tori, real quick before I forget,
Yeah,
I teased this in chat earlier,
yeah.
but we talked about the Kuzma trade rumor earlier today on our other channel.
Yeah.
But did you happen to see the other Blazer trade rumor tonight?
No.
Oh, good. We'll talk about that later.
What's the other
I'm happy I get to bring it up and get your reaction live.
I'm looking forward to that too, man. I'm looking forward to that too. Yeah, I'm curious. We'll have Tankathon tonight. We'll have that. That'll be great. What's funny, Jeremy Grant is 39% from 3 and 39% from the field. So hopefully we can get both those numbers into the 40. It just looks a little better. We'll definitely talk some trade talk. We will summarize the Kuzma conversation for any of you who didn't see it.
Yeah.
We're getting into trade season. It's less than 2 months until the deadline. Now is when the talks start to ramp up around mid-December, at least the rumors. Normally trades don't happen in December or early January. But you did have Thomas Bryant get traded today. It's funny. It's like I got a notification from Sleeper. Big trade! Heat! And with all the Jimmy Butler stuff going on, I'm like, no way Jimmy Butler got traded. And I look at it, Thomas Bryant got traded for a second. Like, cool, man. Good job, Sleeper. I respect
It was a second swap.
Oh, it wasn't even a pure second. It was a swap.
No, it was a swap. Yeah.
That's crazy. Still more than we gave up for Delano Banton. So, because we gave up a second-round pick that won't convey, basically. Top 55 protected. So, yeah, we'll talk about all that stuff. Eric, I'm going to... Go ahead.
I love seeing the people who hadn't heard anything about the Kuzma act like it makes no sense in chat.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a really minor trade rumor, Eric. You shouldn't have said that because now it's like, okay, it's not. The anticipation is gone.
Yeah. Well, people still want to hear it.
Yeah, of course. We love trade talk this time of year. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. You start talking about whatever player you want to talk about next. I'll come back and touch upon them.
You'll touch them. What's up, everybody?
Chat, I do not approve of what Eric just said. That's a little sus anyway.
Yeah. How's everyone doing tonight? We talked about pretty much all the starters. Oh, well, actually, we haven't talked about, well, real quick, just Jabari Walker did better than I thought he would do tonight. He was fine. Didn't really have any issues with him. Had some hustle plays, some rebounds, all that kind of stuff that he's known for. I didn't think he was really a hindrance in this game at all. But the guy we need to talk about in the starting lineup is Shaedon Sharpe. 5 for 10, if you just look at that, pretty good. What did you guys think of Sharpe tonight? It's just, I know he was in the game in the fourth quarter, but was he really in the game? Like, we do nothing to get him involved, dude. Like, he had that one nice drive in the second half. Yeah. We had that one. He had that one nice drive to the basket for the dunk in the second half. But other than that, I barely remember him being on the court, and that's an issue. I think this is outside of like the trade roster stuff. If you're just talking about in terms of development and players and stuff, I think this is the number one problem with the Blazers. roster right now is a player like Sharp should be getting all kinds of plays drawn for him. He should be getting all kinds of, uh, you know, shots coming off screens. He should be getting chances to run the offense a little bit. He should be, uh, you know, I mean, he's too athletic to not be a factor on defense as well. And I agree that he doesn't seem to have that takeover mentality, but that's why, like, if you're the coaching staff, you need to try and manufacture that so you can get him going. And I don't know why that is not a focal point of this team. It seems like getting Anthony and Grant their shots is more important. I do not get that at all. I'll be interested to hear what Torrey says about that when he gets back. But man, it's just like on both ends of the court, it's like he's invisible sometimes, and it's even to the point where, like, all the talk about because all four of our centers were questionable heading into this game, right? And Reith ends up suiting up, but he doesn't play. Klingan suits up. Ayton and Robert Williams don't. And so I was like thinking about that, and then the game starts, and I was like, oh yeah, Sharpe's playing. Like, not that I forgot about him or anything, but it's like you don't even like think about him that much, like, going into the game either. Like, it's a weird situation, man, for someone who should be kind of breaking out right now if we're getting him the opportunities. And I find myself wondering both why Sharpe's playing like that and why the coaching staff is doing nothing to try and I don't know, just get his mind into the game or something.
Yeah, he had that moment where he hit a couple mid-range shots.
Pull-ups.
Yeah, it was good to see, but he had a 3 early. His dribble moves are kind of weird. He needs to work on how he breaks down defenders.
We had that nice baseline for the dunk.
Yeah, I mean, but that was just a straight line drive, right?
I mean, he broke down the defender and got by him baseline.
What move did he make? I'm trying to remember.
Well, he like caught it in the corner. He had a defender on him. He acted like he was going to dribble right and then went back left baseline.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember him going baseline. Yeah, I don't know. He has a lot of, like, he'll make dribble moves that are kind of shifty, but he doesn't end up in a position to really explode forward, I feel like. Does that really make sense? I don't know. That's like my best guess is, people talk about him having a slow first step, but when he straight line drives, a lot of time it doesn't feel like he's necessarily slow. It just feels like he's slow out of his dribble moves, where he can, like, maybe create a little separation or a seam, but doesn't really take advantage of it sometimes yet. And a lot of times it's because he's, like, dribbling the ball out in front of him and can't, like, push it with him, I think, is part of it. I don't know. I'm kind of just guessing here, but it just seems like something's off with, like, his like, the way he breaks down defenders off the dribble.
It's everything just seems so casual, like it's like I don't know, like, if you had an aggressive mindset, I don't know if slow down is the right word, but he always kind of just, like, hesitates for a second, and, like, it just kind of, like, feels awkward. And then, but, like, I feel like if he just didn't slow down, if he just had this, like, I'm gonna attack mindset, like, I don't think it would be an issue as much as it is. I don't know.
Yeah, but also it's like, what does that look like? If he just attack, is he just driving into defenders? Because I don't know if he's, like, strong enough to consistently do that, or big enough to consistently do that.
Yeah, but it just seems like he's just kind of like, oh, just dribble the ball here, and like it doesn't seem to have like any urgency or something when he dribbles, like in the NBA,
Yeah.
if you don't, like you're gonna have defenders catch back up, or the help's gonna come quicker, or like you're gonna have the ball knocked away by the people swiping at it.
Yeah, I think part of it is his skill set isn't developed enough to be as aggressive as we all want him to be. And I think it's, one thing to say, like, be more aggressive, be more aggressive. Okay, what does that look like? Like, is he actually, are there opportunities for him to get good shots or attack that he's not taking? And I don't know if I necessarily feel that way because, I don't know, I just think it's like the ball handling and there's just something off, like I said, with like the way he breaks down defenders and he's not going to just bully through guys. I would like to see him push the ball in transition, like actually like do a little bit more of that. It feels like even when he pushes the ball in transition, he's maybe not running full speed. I've said this before. I don't know if I have ever seen Shaedon Sharpe run full speed. I just feel like he's faster than we've ever seen him run. Like he just kind of he'll. It's not like he's just jogging, but I don't know, man. Like there's just something weird. There's something weird with Sharpe to me, and I don't really know what it is. So I hate not having an explanation for something on a post game, right? But I just don't know if it's as simple as he just needs to be more aggressive. I think he has some skill work left to do in order to actually have the confidence and actually be able to consistently assert himself. When he gets opportunities like filling the lane in transition or backdoor screen, he can dunk, he can finish plays. He's had some big scoring games where he has done some stuff off the dribble. I just think it's what I've always said. It's the difference between showing flashes and being able to consistently do it. You just have to be that much better to consistently assert yourself compared to like you get good opportunity here and there. You can make an off the dribble play. It's one thing to do that when you have opportunities. It's one thing to do that no matter what the opportunity is.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Like, why wouldn't you try to? It's like I've seen it like a couple games this year, but there hasn't been a ton of like, okay, this is a designed play to get a backdoor lob for him or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like
We could do a lot more to scheme him up.
like so until I see at least the attempts of trying to get him some quality shots, and we know that teams are going to be looking for that in certain situations, but that's exactly what you want, right? Like if he's like a decoy and he's drawing defenders and two people go with him or the big drops because they're worried about the lob, that opens up shots for the other guys on the court. So like I don't understand why we wouldn't use that to our advantage.
Yeah, I mean, the best year of Lauri Markkanen in this offense would disappear for nights. In that the best version of Lauri Markkanen was an all-star. And was somebody averaged 25 points per game. But it was schemed up or all just him being opportunistic. And he was like elite off ball. And I think, Sharpe is more of a guard, so has more off the dribble juice, so to say. But I think that Sharpe would have consistently bigger nights if there was more done to scheme him up. And that goes back to the conversation we had at the start of the stream regarding half-court sets.
Yeah.
So, because he's just not a one-on-one player. And I'll give him credit. He does a good job of not forcing bad shots. He'll take a bad shot here or there. Yeah. But, like, when it's not there, he'll move the ball. He'll give it to someone else. And that's why it's like you have moments and stretches where it's like maybe he'll catch the ball and, like, try and do one quick little dribble move. It's not there and he passes it. And then it's like after a 5-minute stretch, it's like, okay, where's Sharpe? Sharpe's been on the floor. Oh, he hasn't done anything. Well, yeah, he's not going to make a bunch of defensive plays. He isn't the primary creator when he's ever out on the floor usually. and he's just not a one-on-one player yet. And I think he knows he's not a one-on-one player yet, and he doesn't have the confidence as a one-on-one player yet. Like, he'll try and make a move. It's not there. Okay, I'll move the ball. Which isn't necessarily a bad mentality. It's just he has to develop as a player to the point where it's like he can break guys down and actually consistently create space, consistently create shots, and then also he has to become a better shooter, especially off the dribble, because I feel like a lot of defenders, he'll go to make a move, and they'll just kind of back up. And it's like he can shoot a step-back three, it feels like. Almost every possession, he catches the ball and makes a move off the dribble. Okay, you got to be able to hit step-back threes at like 36, 37%. So that defenders have to respect it, play up on you, and then you beat guys off the dribble. I do think when he gets bumped, he's just not strong enough, or he can get bumped off his drive and lose his angle when he tries to attack. I think that's part of it. I think he needs to become stronger with his lower body, which, to people that don't know the difference between explosiveness and strength with the lower body, that might sound weird. Like, oh, he has a 45-inch vertical. What do you mean he needs to get stronger with his lower body? Well, he's explosive with his lower body, but it's a different thing. Strength is. And it feels like he just gets bumped off his line a little bit too much. So I think continuing to develop the three, being able to shoot threes off the dribble consistently, and making defenses respect that, and then being able to use that to actually beat a guy off the dribble and getting stronger so that he can actually create some contact and gain an angle, kind of like Deni Avdija can, instead of getting bumped off his drive. And you will be able to see him create consistently. Until then, it's probably going to be more like tonight, which is why I've always said with Sharpe, like, okay, cool, he had 2 big games. I need to see it consistently. Like, I'm not buying any sort of leap until he consistently does this, because he has flashes, because he has some capability there and has obviously upside there, but big gap between doing it on 1 or 2 nights where the opportunities all align, or you're just feeling it, you're extra quick for whatever reason, or you're making shots. Big difference between that and doing it all the time. So that's the key for Sharpe, in my opinion.
Well, if I was an opposing defense, like scouting the Blazers, I would be like, wow, this guy could be a really tough cover if he was constantly moving around, but they're just parking him in the corner, like he doesn't move much on offense. So like that's actually playing right into our strengths, because like he goes from someone like, imagine if he was just constantly moving off ball. Like, you know how hard a player like that would be to guard? Like, because you have to worry about lobs, you have to worry about like him just sneaking into the free throw line area. Like, you have to worry about him like spacing out to the 3-point line. Like, it would be really difficult to cover him, and that's why it's frustrating, because it feels like we have personnel to run some more creative sets, and we just don't.
Yeah, and I'll say this: it's tougher to move when nobody else is moving and nobody else is setting an off-ball screen.
Well, yeah,
freelance or sets, right? It's because oftentimes you're occupying a portion of the court that is not occupied, right? That's spacing. And if you're cutting, you're actually clogging things up if nobody else is moving. But if somebody comes, screens away, okay, you cut off that, you curl off that, right? You can do that in freelance, right? Or if somebody's cutting through, you rotate up. It's when guys are moving, the offense has more flow to it, and it's easier to move yourself. When everybody's standing around, man, it's kind of just like, okay, well, we got the ball up top. On the other side of the floor, we have somebody free throw line extended. We got somebody in the corner. We got a big man down in the paint, and I'm on the opposite wing. Where am I supposed to cut?
Yeah. Well, just look how easy it is to scheme against that if you're the other team.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, rate the fit real quick. I made a purchase today. Rate.
You get that at the game?
Yeah, I had a Rip City Clothing Company gift card, so I used it finally because I've had it for a while. Yeah. What are you rating the fit, chat? Do we like the fit? Let me know. Also, can I hit this shot? We'll see. Hopefully I don't mess up my mic. Am I clutch today, Eric?
No.
Oh my god, that was terrible. I haven't shot him down. Nope, brick. I am not Jeremy Grant tonight, nor am I Anthony Simons tonight. Who shot badly tonight? I'm Delano Banton tonight.
Dude.
Oh, no, it's his last night. Take it easy on him.
You simply asked the question.
No, it's his last night. It's Delano Banton came in, bricked a free throw, and bricked 3 threes in 8 minutes. Is he back to being out of the rotation?
I don't know.
It's kind of like one of those things where you sub him in, and if he hits a couple threes, like, okay, we'll play him 20 minutes. He misses a couple, and it's like, yeah, he's not going to play.
Yeah, he was complete non-factor in a positive way.
Yeah.
At all. Kind of a negative way, but.
Yep. Agreed. Who have we not talked about? Who do you want to talk about? Jabari?
I talked about him for a minute. I mean, he was better than expected when he was announced in the starting lineup. I thought he was fine. Made some hustle plays.
Yeah. Did you talk about Donovan? I know I talked about him a little bit, but...
I mean, it was good to see him out there. He had a couple really good defensive plays when we got back into the game. Yeah, I thought he was fine. Can't wait till he gets back into game shape and back out there because we just seem like such a different team when he's out there.
Yeah. Him and Deni, man. That Deni dunk had me lit, dude. That was maybe my favorite play of the season. Part of it was being there, and part of it was seeing Wemby try to chase him down and him just coming full speed ahead. He's fast, dude, for his size and how strong he is. He's good, man. There's too many people that wrote him off because, he shot poorly his first 8-9 games, and it's like, be patient. Be patient. He's a good player. 8 games is 8 games. He's played many more than that. And he's fun. He's so much fun to watch, man. When he's aggressive in transition and some of the moves he has, like he has some. He's not a star by any means, right? He's a role player, but he has a couple like star-esque scoring moves, if that makes sense. For like a 6'9" dude, that's impressive. Like the D-cell Euro stuff, the bump and like kill dribble low and like wrapping it through and finishing on the other side. Like he has some scoring traits that are very unusual for a role player. That like kind of reminds you of like the way star level wings are able to score the ball in the NBA. And maybe part of this is just because we haven't had a wing that actually has a scoring package in a long time. Like, people say Jeremy Grant, but, I mean, I think Deni Avdija's, like, dribble drive moves are better than Jeremy Grant's, maybe. Jeremy Grant's more kind of, like, straight line, will shoot a fadeaway mid-range, like, I don't know. Denny's crafty and creative, and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Denny's been solid for several weeks now.
He might, the past month, I mean, who's been better than him?
I don't think anyone has.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad and a good thing. That's a bad and a good thing, man. He had a terrific month of November. In December, he is currently shooting. What was he from 3 today? Deni was 1 for 3 from 3 today. On the month of December, he was, oh my goodness, where was it? 2 for 4, 3 for 3, 1 for 5, 2 for 3, 1 for 3. So that makes him 9 for, quick math, 9 for 18 from 3. He's shooting 50% from 3 first 5 games of December. And in November, he shot, let's see. He shot 37% from 3 in November. So you take out that awful month of October, he's been a good shooter. He's been a legitimate shooter. But you know what's encouraging lately? He's starting to finish. He's starting to make layups he was missing earlier in the season. He's starting to make these little mid-range deceleration floaters and Euro step floaters, that sort of stuff. He was 7 for 11 today. He was 6 for 8 inside the arc. He had a reverse lay-in where he beat Victor Wembanyama, and I feel like that's a lay-in that he
Well,
smoked this year. What's up?
He fouled Victor Wembanyama.
Huh?
The reverse lay-in, his off arm comes up and slaps Victor right across the neck area and shields his hands from coming in.
I mean, they gave Devin Vassell a tech and still counted his basket when he did that, so then he should have gotten a tech, but still should have gotten the basket, according to the precedent the refs set.
Yeah.
He's finishing well, though, man.
Yeah.
He's starting to finish well.
I think Vassell's tech was for talking after that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I think I had tech for elbowing him in the head. Why? So, it was kind of hard to tell. I saw, like, Chris Paul complaining. What was he? I missed the play that he was mad about. I know Scoot was pressing him around half court, but, like, I didn't really understand why he was so mad he got ejected.
Yeah, I didn't either because the broadcast only showed, like, him getting called for it. But yeah, apparently he got called for like an over and back or something. I think he thought Scoot pushed him or something. But anyways, he got a tech for that, and then a few minutes later he was still chirping for some reason. During a free throw he was yelling, and yeah, the ref just tossed him.
Yeah, interesting. Sorry, I just got distracted by this Sporting News article that has a trade suggestion for Portland. And it's comically bad, maybe the worst one of the season.
Nice.
So, have you seen this?
No, I don't
I'll just read
think
it
so.
off. I'll just read it off, okay? All right. Tell me if this makes more or less sense than the Kyle Kuzma rumor, okay? In a possible trade, the Spurs could send Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, and draft picks to Portland for Deni Avdija, Robert Williams III, and Toumani Camara. This works out for the Blazers as they would add 2 young players and draft capital to continue their rebuild.
Yikes.
So we add 2 young players by trading Avdija, Camara, and Robert Williams for Keldon Johnson and Zach Collins.
Who are older than Avdija and
Camara. Oh, man. Does that make more or less sense than the Kyle Kuzma rumor?
I mean, that makes 0 sense. Neither of them make any sense, so they're both bad.
You want to touch upon the Kyle Kuzma thing, like summarize it? We don't have to go as in depth as we did earlier, but
yeah. So what's his name? Brett Siegel mentioned earlier that the Blazers were among other teams. I forgot who it was, like the Pelicans, the Pistons. There was a couple other teams, and Blazers were mentioned as a team that is interested in trading for Kyle Kuzma. Both Tori and I think that makes 0 sense. He's pushing 30 years old, can't shoot very well. It's the complete opposite direction of the kind of player the Blazers should be looking at right now to fill out their roster and to trade for. And so that would be very concerning if we actually were interested in him and not as like a part of a bigger trade or something.
yeah, it's obvious what the rebuild needs is to trade the vets, go all in on the youth movement, and try and accumulate assets and gain flexibility. Kyle Kuzma accomplishes none of that. In actuality, goes against all of that. And you got Deni, you got Camara at the forward spots. There's a legitimate chance you draft a forward. Why would you want Kyle Kuzma there clogging things up? Like, why would the Blazers have any interest in him? And people are saying, well, what if they want to trade him for Ayton? Like, okay, yeah, right, number one. But, okay, let's say they did. Flip Kyle Kuzma to a third team. If Washington calls you and says, we're willing to trade Ayton for Kuzma, cool. Because Kuzma probably has more trade value than Ayton. All right, we will send Kuzma to a third team and take back assets. And expiring. And his contract's easier to move to a third team than Ayton's is, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like maybe there's a 3-team structure where the Wizards get somebody from Portland if they want. My question is, why didn't they get him in the Avdija trade, number one? Okay, if they really wanted him. Number two, Yeah, if they really want a player, that doesn't mean Kuzma has to come back to Portland. Why would Portland be interested in bringing Kuzma to Portland to play in Portland? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And the Ayton versus Kuzma thing, let's just say Wizards are interested in Ayton, and that's a way for Portland to get rid of him and get a player that has value. Like Tori just mentioned, you bring in another team to then trade Kuzma and get that value right away, not having to wait. But if it's just a Kuzma for Ayton type of trade and we have to give up any assets along with Ayton to get Kuzma, it makes no sense because Kuzma has an extra year on his contract. I think in that case we'd be better off just cutting Ayton and just having his dead money because it doesn't really serve us to add another year for a veteran that would probably decrease his trade value playing in Portland right now.
Yeah, agreed. Real quick, before you tell me what the rumor is that I haven't heard, can we get this stream to 100 likes? We got 49 right now. All right, like the stream, easiest way to support us.
Either 100 or 20 more.
Yeah. I got to do a chat poll for it. The chat polls are effective. Basically, chat, do you guys believe in yourself and your own ability to get the stream to 100 likes? That is the chat poll, okay? Do you believe in yourselves? Hopefully you do. I believe in you. Hopefully it's not misguided. All right, Eric.
I don't believe in you guys.
Damn. Damn, that's brutal. That's brutal. What is this rumor?
All right. Our guy Brett Siegel is back.
Oh, man, he's killing it.
All right, this involves the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, God.
All right.
Yeah, this is already BS. Yay, Toradol 2.0.
No. Listen, okay. Brandon Ingram and Zach LaVine are not on their radar. They're instead exploring secondary trade options. The Warriors have had discussions involving Dante DiVincenzo, Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, and one Matisse Thybulle.
Wow, man. I don't know. I don't think it means anything at all, but take him. Take him. He would make a beautiful pairing with GP 2 weeks.
If we get anything from Matisse Thybulle,
oh, that's a win.
Right, you take it, right?
Absolutely. That is absolutely a win.
Guys, they're not trading us Kuminga for Matisse Thybulle. Come on. The trade would be, I would imagine it would be like Melton and a second or something, a couple seconds, which I believe so, yeah. I think he's out for the year, so I think they're trying to use his contract to...
Yeah, I mean, get back the 2 seconds you gave up for him, and then it's a wash. Yeah. Give up the seconds you gave up for him. I mean, I would trade Thybulle for an expiring. There's just no point to him being on this team.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point to matching his contract.
Yeah, Melton's on a 1-year deal. He makes $1.8 million more than Thybulle, but
Eric, why would we trade for a player that's out for the year?
Oh, by the way, Melton can't be traded till Sunday, so maybe that's the only holdup. So,
yeah, why would we trade for an injured player, Eric? It's not gonna help us.
It helps the Warriors. I mean, Thybulle's hurt too, but
why would we help the Warriors?
Right. They're a competition for a play-in spot right now.
Yeah. How are we going to catch the Warriors if we trade a Matisse Thybulle for a player who's out for the year, Eric?
But yeah, that... See, if Cronin could pull off that, then it does open the door to, if you get expirings back for some of our other players, just completely reset our cap situation and be in really good shape this summer.
Give us cap space, Joe. Listen, we have never gone into free agency ever saying we have cap space. We've never ever done that. Not
We had
saying
$60 million in cap space
You know
in
what?
2021.
I would be
Torrey.
happy just to have
$60 million.
$30 million in cap space and do nothing with it, just so we can go into free agency like, well, we have possibilities. We got some freaking cap space for once, because we never have cap space.
If you had $30 million in cap space and did nothing with it in this CBA, where teams would be just bending over backwards to give you picks to use that cap space, if you did nothing, you're an absolute moron.
Let's say they traded Rob Will, Ayton, Grant, Thibault, and Simons. All 5 of those guys for expirings and whatever assets they can get back. I think they would have like $35 to $40 million of cap space. Eric, what would be your first call? What would be your first move in free agency, assuming we didn't take back contracts?
I think we'd have a lot more than that, wouldn't we?
Maybe we'd have a little bit more. Maybe it'd be 50. I don't know. But like, let's say maybe we don't trade Robert Williams or whatever. I don't know. Like, what would be your first call though? What would be the first thing you would try and do in free agency?
I would do stuff like what the Spurs did and take on someone like Harrison Barnes.
Well, let's just say for whatever reason that opportunity isn't out there.
So, like, what if there was a free agent? Who would I go after?
Yeah. Who's your first free agent call?
Well, let me see. I first have to see who's the free agent. Hold on, give me a second.
I know my first phone call.
Go ahead while I'm looking this up. LeBron James.
No.
I don't.
I'm not going to say it until you say yours.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh. Be realistic. Kind of. Maybe Jimmy Butler's agent will have Jimmy Butler go to Portland just to spite Shams.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, you're gonna say Nas Reed, right?
Thanks for the spoiler, Elizabeth Allen. I am annoyed. Fine, yeah. My first phone call, I'm calling him Nas Reed. I'm giving him a 2-year deal, second-year team option.
Okay. Can I just ask real quick?
Yeah.
You've talked about that plan multiple times. I thought this was like some new
No.
secret thing.
No.
I thought you were
not a secret thing. That is my first phone call.
I thought you came up with some new secret plan.
Nope,
Sorry.
it's not a secret plan. That is my first phone call. Screw over Minnesota. They're trying to be cheap, the whole sale and everything. And yeah. I mean, imagine Nas Reed as a compliment to Klingan, dude. And you get him a 2-year, second-year team option where, like, yeah, you're overpaying him, but it's only for a year. He's basically expiring. You can use in a trade. Or he spaces the floor, and you get to see what that looks like with, like, a legitimate stretch 5 for Scoot, Sharpe, etc. Good contrast to Klingan. Can even play a little bit next to Klingan. Like, that's a center that can play next to Klingan. And he's young enough, right, to be a part of the future core, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 25. And guess what? If it doesn't work out or you don't like it or you want to go after a different center, okay, you decline his team option. He's a free agent next offseason. You have all that money back.
You know who we're going to sign instead, Torrey?
Who?
Gary Payton II.
Oh, shut up. I want to know
we're going to give him another bag.
I want to know who would be your first phone call, though. Because I'm curious. I know you're looking at the list.
I'm cool with the man, if we had cap space and came out with Nas Reed and Caruso, I think.
Yeah, you got a room exception. Not enough for Caruso, but.
Well, I think we have more. I think we'd have closer to 40 to 50, even if we had Robert Williams.
Yeah. Caruso would be, yeah.
I think he would be good for our young guys too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You could try to steal Kuminga, unrestricted free agent, give him.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, dude. If you had 40 million of cap space, give him a max.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
might
there's no
screw
way
you
Golden State
later,
lets
but
him go, but I don't know. New CBA,
if
you
you
never
give him
know.
a max, I don't know. I don't know if they're matching, man.
And maybe
The
that
new,
ends up being
they
a
might
bad
not even
contract.
be able to.
But I'd rather, instead of spending 60 million on Ayton and Grant, and we know that they're just like whatever they are, take a chance at Kuminga at 40 million, and maybe he can be like star level. The one game he played without Steph recently, he had like 33. He's averaging 15 a game. The thing is just his shooting. I don't know. I don't love the fit, but he's still only 22 years old. It's like if you're going to tie up a bunch of money, tie it up in at least some sort of upside instead of Ayton and Grant.
Yeah. I would maybe, so much like your strategy of like signing someone to a big contract and using them as trades, we saw last year how very few teams had like mid-level exceptions and stuff used on players not on their team. So like it was pretty much either they got a big contract from their own team or they had to settle for like close to the minimum or something.
Yeah.
They're the mid-range, like the 10 to 15 million dollar type contracts are disappearing out of the NBA, and so I would maybe just go for like 3 or 4 of those guys and just have like multiple trade assets, you know.
Yeah, guys, yeah, I actually really like that. Sign the Tyus Jones or whatever.
Right, that's exactly
trade
one
him
of the
at
guys I was looking for.
and, yeah, like if you can sign, hypothetically, if you could sign 4 players like that are all worth a first, you could get 4 firsts at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
If you really did that right, yeah. The thing is, dude, you see how much fun this could be? You see how much fun this could be if we had some cap space?
Yeah.
Instead of like, will somebody please take DeAndre Ayton? Like, look, DA's out tonight. Oh, we're competitive again. We almost won. We were up 17. We started Jabari Walker at center against Wembanyama. Spurs are above 500 team. Colt, please. Are you trolling me? There's no way. There's no way that's real, Eric. If it is, then somebody's copying our flow.
We're not even drinking tonight.
I know. I'm drinking Cascade Ice with caffeine. Keep your eyes off Tyus. Well, no, it's not like...
Well, you guys can't re-sign him anyway. He's not going to sign for the minimum again.
Yeah.
Do it there.
You would think. I didn't think he was going to sign for a minimum this offseason. So, yeah, maybe you keep...
But that's the exact type of player I'm talking about.
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely. But he had bigger offers. But, yeah, it's just a good example because he's...
not much bigger. More. It was like, 4 or 5 million versus minimum.
Yeah. He's probably the best value contract in the league right now, says JP Savvy. Exactly. You guys got a bargain. The Suns have been given so many gifts, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're healthy, they look pretty good this year. But it's like, dude, I don't know what's wrong with them. They barely covered against the Jazz today. I doubled down on them, and I knew it was going to be stressful. They were down like 50-42. I was at the game. And like ESPN was lagging behind, but I checked the score. It's like 50-42, and I didn't realize ESPN was lagging. I was like, dude, of course the Jazz are up 8 against the Suns. They got KD. Like, how's that even possible?
Do you know what you went today?
Huh?
Do you know what you're?
No, I'm not sure. Arrow, can we get the updated standings?
I don't think he has everyone's picks in yet. I think I went 6-3.
Of course you freaking did. I can add them up. I think I might have went 6-3 as well. Okay, Spurs screwed me. They couldn't win by 4. Suns gave me 2 wins. Clippers screwed me. Bulls gave me a win. Grizzlies gave me a win. Timberwolves gave me a win. I'm 5-4. Cavs didn't cover. Cavs game I just picked without even thinking because of the problem with the stream. Rip. 5-4. You went 6-3.
Yeah.
Hopefully we went above 500 today. Hopefully we had a good day. We need to get back to 500.
Let's do Tankathon.
Oh yeah.
Because we should. I think we're tied with the 76ers now.
Yeah, the Sixers are gonna be at least in the play-in. That's not something that.
I don't know. Embiid broke his sinus.
The face mask will wake him up. Broke his sinuses. Yeah, the Sixers aren't going to be as bad as us, man. Maybe they're not playing, but they're not going to be as bad as us, right?
I don't think so.
No shot. No way.
Ranted at the fans?
Who ranted at the fans? You know what's funny? Yeah, we're tied with them, but they still have better odds because they're 7-16 and we're 8-17. And we therefore have a higher win percentage.
Right.
Because it's like if they went 1-1, they'd have the same record, but 500 is boosts up their win percentage. Tankathon time.
Remember when we were 8-12?
Yeah, good times, man. Good times. Remember when we were 7 and I don't even remember. Never mind.
I don't remember.
Remember when we were 6-9? That was a nice record. 8-17. We are a game out of 5th, game and a half out of 4th. We're only 2.5 out of 3rd.
I know. We're right there.
I think New Orleans is cooked.
We just need him to still try.
Yeah.
At some point.
We have a chance of getting top 2 odds. I don't know, man. Like, when this team has, how do I explain it? This team has brighter flashes than last year, but it hasn't resulted in any change really at all. You know what I mean? Do you agree with that?
The what?
This team has brighter flashes this year.
Yeah.
But it
I mean, there were
hasn't
points
changed
in this game where you're like, wow, we look pretty good.
Yeah, wow, we're pushing the pace. Wow, we're making an insane amount of threes. I don't know. We still suck.
Yeah.
The thing is, Detroit, Brooklyn, Chicago all suck too. And hopefully we suck worse. And Philadelphia does better. And I don't know. I think we can end up with 4th or 5th best odds. You know what's funny is before the season, everybody was predicting us to be 14th or 15th. But didn't I say 13th because I figured there was going to be a super injured team that we would find a way to be better than?
I don't know. I predicted 14th.
I think I predicted 14th as well, but New Orleans is that team. There's always that team. Anyway, we'll simulate it and scroll up from the bottom. I need to put the sound effects back in here for the.
There's always those 5. There's always 5 teams apparently, and that makes the Blazers a play-in team.
I don't understand.
All the people saying that there's going to be 5 teams worse than the Blazers.
Yeah. Clippers picked OKC. Clippers have lost 3 in a row. Hopefully they can start winning some games because I don't want OKC in the lottery. 13 is San Antonio. 12 is Atlanta via the LA Lakers. That pick is unprotected. 11 is Sacramento. 10 is Chicago. 9 is Brooklyn. 8 is Detroit. Moment of truth. 7 is the Charlotte Hornets.
That means Portland and Philadelphia moved up.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were another thing, it's going chalk so far.
Yeah. 6 is Toronto. And 5 is Utah. So you got Washington up there, and you got New Orleans up there with Philadelphia and Portland.
Nice.
At 4 is New Orleans. Top 3, baby. That's the money spot. Third is your Portland Trailblazers. Second is Washington, and Philadelphia gets the number 1 pick.
Alex says, doesn't Philly's pick out of OKC? It's top 6 protected, I believe.
Eric, I'd be bummed if we got third. I think there is a very, very clear top 2 in this class. And I want one of the 2.
Yeah.
Chat. If you haven't heard me or watched me tweet about prospects or heard me talk about prospects, you might guess it wrong. You might have the wrong top 2 in mind. The top 2 is Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper is closer to Cooper Flagg than any other player in the class. He's closer to number 1 than he is to number 3. I feel very confident when I say that.
Yeah.
Like he's legit, bro. He has the it factor, which I don't like to talk about things like the it factor, but he has the it factor. He's just super strong. He uses his body super well and finishes everything. In his 3-point shot has been a question mark, but he started off like a recent game at home, made 3 threes in a row. Like, I think his shot will be fine. Like, I don't know, man. Cooper Flagg does a lot of little things more, but in terms of, like, if I had to bet on one player becoming, like, a legitimate star, a legitimate, like, top 15 player, I don't know if I'd go with Cooper Flagg over Dylan Harper.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know, man. Like, I would be very, very surprised if Dylan Harper wasn't a star. I'd be surprised if Cooper Flagg wasn't a star, too. I don't know, man. Like, I love Dylan Harper's game. Dylan Harper's legit. I think this draft goes Cooper Flagg at 1 to Philadelphia, right? And then Dylan Harper number 2 to Washington. Like, clean, easy, clear cut. And then at number 3, Eric, we are sitting there having Ace Bailey debates.
Yeah.
And we're saying, do we take Ace Bailey or what?
Or Kasparis.
That's what I was thinking, because he's been rising. He has been rising. I don't know, Eric. At number 3, let's say Harper and Flagg are off the board. Who are you taking if you're Portland right now? Is it Ace Bailey?
Yes, because in Portland's specific case, I think he's a good defender and he can shoot the ball. And I think those are 2 things that Portland could utilize and maximize his ability. I don't know if we necessarily would need him to be the creator that he would need to be if he was a star on another team. And that's if, like, Scoot and Sharpe develop, obviously. But I think maximizing Scoot, getting a player like that would help him a little bit.
I mean, we can find a 3-point shooter elsewhere. Like,
but I mean, he still has star upside too.
I know.
Like, you know.
I don't disagree. It's hard to be confident in it because I don't know, man. Like, he is such a tough case.
Yeah.
He's such a tough eval. I could see him figuring out how to get to the rim and be like an elite 3-level scorer who averages 25 points per game for over a decade. But he does not get to the rim. He does not make plays for others at all. And it's like, if you're drafting a guy hoping he can be like your number 1 option in your offense, which if you're drafting top 3 in this draft, you should be drafting with that hope. It is tough to have hope in a dude that doesn't make plays for others like at all and doesn't get to the rim ever.
Yeah.
On his own. Like, I mean, if we're drafting hoping we can draft our future number one option, like I have more faith in Trey Johnson, who also has his own struggles getting to the rim, but like I don't know, like I could see having more faith in Yaku Chonis being that.
It's just wings have so much more value in the league.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like that's how you. I don't know. I know it's still early for Jabari Smith, but it's like that's how you end up with Jabari Smith. Is that really that much better than drafting someone that might be like, I don't know, the next Trae Young or the next SGA or the next whatever? Like, that's the downside of Ace Bailey over other prospects. Not saying any of these other prospects will be Trae Young, and not saying Ace Bailey will be Jabari Smith, but it's just like, okay, yeah, he's a wing, but I don't know. I don't think you can hyper focus on that particular part of it. It's like if you're Portland, you should be drafting somebody that you think can be the superstar for your offense. And if that's a guard, that's a guard. Because I don't think Scoot or Sharpe have shown enough for you not to draft a guard.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I've been saying that for weeks.
So it's just super, super tough. I was hoping it'd be Demon. He looked really good early on, but once he played tougher competition, he started struggling. So I've cooled on him a little bit. I still think he has a lot of upside and would make sense for the Blazers as somebody that has like a high floor, can play in different roles and like has upside. But like Big 12 play is going to be very important for him. Thankfully, BYU is in the Big 12 instead of the WCC like they used to be.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be more tested. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not going to go too much into my big board or anything, but I would probably put Trey Johnson over Ace Bailey right now. And I think the other players in that conversation right now for me are Derek Queen, Yakuchonis, Edgecombe, and Demon if he plays better against tougher competition. And maybe Boogie Fland.
Dude, the best part about this, though, is as Elizabeth Allen points out, we're going to have a lot of film on these guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All these prospects are playing in the NCAA right now, pretty much, you know?
I love it. It's not
Except
like we
for
have to go watch
Seraph and Sengu.
Yeah, it's not like we have to go watch the G League Ignite, you know, and wonder like, man, what is this?
Yeah. If they have all these prospects, why are they like 0-14?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's sick, man, because Demon would be a little bit more of a mystery right now. Yakuchonis would be a little bit more of a mystery. Yakuchonis has been the hot name, and he's been playing really good basketball. He's super crafty, 6'6", can really pass, just really good feel, like crafty. It's the question of, can he create separation, or is he big enough and crafty enough where it doesn't matter to be a legitimate star? That's the debate with him. But yeah, I mean, like, Derek Queen is probably like an inch taller than Ace Bailey, and he can create much better off the dribble, and he projects as a center. And he's a much better passer. The thing is, he's not much of a shooter. But with him, it's like, okay, can you teach him how to become a shooter? Because if you can teach him how to become a shooter, like, how is he not a star? Like, how is he not a 22-point-per-game guy? How is he not, like, Alperen Şengün at the very least if he can shoot a little bit? Alperen Şengün can't even shoot that much. Yes, he has defensive questions. So does Şengün. I think Derek Queen has one of the maybe highest floors in the draft. I know he doesn't make sense maybe next to Klingan, so I don't know how much I like him for the Blazers. But for another team, like let's say just this mock, like I would start looking at him. Let's say Portland took Ace Bailey. I would start looking at Derek Queen at number 4 to New Orleans. I think if Utah isn't married to Walker Kessler, you can look at him at number 5, and then Toronto at number 6. Like if I'm Toronto at number 6, assuming the next 2 players on the board go 4-5, I'm taking a really hard look at Derek Queen at 6.
Yeah.
Did you see the game? He dropped like 26, hit a couple threes, and just like he's freaking quick. And just like I don't know, man.
It doesn't look like he'd be quick, but he is.
Yeah, dude, he'll like pump fake and look like he's gonna make a slow dribble drive, and then he's at the rim. It's wild to me. His footwork. He reminds me of an athletic, taller Eric Brandt. Eric Brandt in his heyday probably played like Derek Queen. Am I right?
Yeah, maybe that's why I like him.
You like him? You on board the Queen train too?
Yeah, I like Queen.
Hell yeah. All aboard the Derek Queen train. We love ourselves some Derek Queen. He's one of the guys I had him like, 7th on my big board? And his stock is rising. It seems like he's, at this point, consensus lottery pick. So I think, barely ahead in time. That's one of those guys where I like him a lot, but don't put together a big board, and then it's like he's top 10, and it's like, okay, I'm just consensus, but I was a little early. I will say Boogie Flan's going to be much higher on my next big board, Eric. He's been playing good basketball.
Oh, you're finally on the Boogie train too?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly hadn't paid enough attention to him or watched enough of him, at least at the right times where I could. He had a 20-point game recently. I like the way he pulls up from 3. He's just very high floor, solid ceiling because he is kind of a pesty defender.
Mm-hmm.
But he's quick. Movement pattern stuff I like with him. So I like him. My next big board, I will have a couple more surprises. One late first guy that right now is very late second if drafted at all.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. The 19th, 2 streams from now, we'll have our big board 2.0. I think I'm ready to do it through the top 40, Eric.
All right.
I can be ready to do it through the top 40 by then. Right now, I'm happy with my top 30.
I'll make that my goal too, then.
Cool. Bet. Yeah, I don't know, man. If I was Portland in this scenario, I would call up Philadelphia. Hey, Ace Bailey would be a really good fit there for what you guys want to do. You guys still want to win, right?
I don't know what they want to do.
Pair him next to Paul George. You get your power forward. You got Maxey, McCain, Paul George, Ace Bailey, Joel Embiid. Never had more shooting around Joel Embiid ever. Anyway, yeah, I would love a top 2 pick. If we're 2, I'm taking Dylan Harper. Do you agree with that, or would you still go Bailey?
I think a lot of information is still needed for that, but yeah, man, I don't have a problem either way. It's just, if we still have all 3 guards, it's got to trade some of them,
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, you don't say no to Dylan Harper because of the 3 guys.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
And if you don't trade any of them, Shaedon Sharpe, welcome to being a full-time small forward. And then you take next year and get, hopefully, DeBonsa or Boozer. I think the next 2 drafts are super important for the Portland Trail Blazers, and then it's go time. I think this rebuild has this year and next year in rebuild phase, and then it's takeoff phase. And maybe you're in the lottery another year, but you're focused on like, okay, let's take off. Like we got enough young talent, we got enough pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you get to like 500 the year after you draft, hopefully DeBonsa or whoever in that draft class. It looks like it's going to be pretty decent at the top, and then so maybe you have a 500 year, and then you follow that up with the type of year Houston's having right now.
What do you think about DeBonsa going to BYU?
I mean, strange, but
$7 million.
he got a bag. Shout out to him. He got paid. Good for him. Good for him. Anyway, we'll be live again on Sunday. We play the Suns, so maybe I'll hop on Gabe's stream, Suns Valley Podcast. Shout out to them. Anything else, Eric?
Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good weekend. Hope to see you back on Sunday.
Yeah. Also, if you have like 2 Klingan glasses and want to trade one for a Scoot glass, let me know. All right? Because
Just hate Scoot now. You're trying to get rid of
I
him.
got 2 Scoot glasses. I'm trying to collect them all. So let me know. Hit me up, Discord, Twitter, wherever. Let me know. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Did we get the stream to 100 likes, Eric?
We did.
Nice. I knew I could believe in chat. We're right at 100 likes. Shout out to chat. Knew I could believe in you guys. Shout out to the 27% of people that doubted us. Shout out Suns Valley Podcast member for 25 months. Says you both free Sunday.
I'll let you know.
If I'm not
Screw you, Aeromancer.
If I beat Eric in our fantasy football playoffs, absolutely. If not, I might be too depressed. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's see our projected lineups, okay? For our fantasy football playoffs. If my phone would load, that would be great. Frickin' ESPN, man. Okay, so I have our QBs. I have Jalen Hurts. Eric has Tua Tagovailoa, which is interesting because I have Tyreek Hill and Achane. All right, so running backs. I got James Conner, Devon Achane. Eric has Saquon Barkley and Brian Robinson Jr. So hopefully Saquon Barkley can run it to the 1-yard line so that we can push Jalen Hurts into the end zone for me. All right, I got Drake London. He has Cortland Sutton. I have Nico Collins. He has Khalil Shakur. I have Brock Bowers. He has Isaiah Likely. I have Tyreek Hill. He has Jonathan Taylor in his flex. KC defense. He has Baltimore defense. I got Dicker the kicker. Cameron Dicker. He has Will Reichard. That is our fantasy lineups. I thought you had Goddard. Oh, Goddard's hurt. I was surprised to see you starting Likely.
Oh, you got hurt.
That pickup, unfortunately for you, has not really panned out. But watch, he's going to go off this week, and it's all going to be worth it.
Yeah.
GG.
Just.
We'll see. I'll live tweet it.
Oh yeah, Tori, did you see the Brian Windhorst Norm Powell thing?
Oh yeah, you want to end off the stream with that?
Sure. So Windhorst basically said that led to the new CBA.
Yeah, Cronin sucks so bad that they created a drastic new CBA. I wish I was joking.
Yeah, I wish you were joking too.
And I wish people didn't try to freaking defend it, man. There's people that will defend that trade and will also defend going out and trading for Kyle Kuzma. Okay? The cronies, they are unstoppable. They will go to any lengths to defend Joe Cronin. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. We're going to wrap up the stream. Shot Bet US. We'll be live again on Sunday. Looking forward to that. We'll do some charity stuff on Sunday. This was supposed to be a charity night. I forgot, given that went to the game, busy work day, all that stuff. So charity stuff on Sunday and members night on Sunday as well. So we'll combine those two things. I'm looking forward to that. Anything else?
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yep, check out Mariners Uprise. Search it on YouTube if you're a Mariners fan. And that's all. Join our Discord. Link in description. We're out here. We'll catch you Sunday. Have a good start to your weekend until next time. As always, peace out. Go Blazers!